Hello, I am Miss Lee, and next to me are some 5A students. I've invited them to join me to share on the topic language learning. First, let's have Sammy. Sammy is a language student ambassador, and she will reveal some activities done in the English lessons and how she has gradually become a confident speaker.
Hello everyone, I am Sammy. I used to be very shy and felt very frightened to speak in front of people, especially in English. I found it embarrassing as I didn't think I could speak well. Fortunately, at school, there are many chances for me to practice speaking, and this gradually builds up my confidence. In the English lessons, there are different oral tasks. This year, we had an in-class debate, and I was assigned to be the chairperson in one of the sections. Chairing a debate is like playing the role of an announcer, and I learned how to be both firm and friendly in my tone. In May, we gave sales presentations for the module Workplace Communication. A Novel Bite is the name of the shop my group proposed opening. In the picture, I was introducing the food we would offer in our book cafe, where customers could enjoy reading a novel while having a bite. I enjoyed presenting the ideas that our group worked out together. And just 2 weeks ago, we did our English SBA. Our class watched the movie Coco, and we kept our viewing records in the logbook, but it was our discussion of the movie that was assessed. Although I don't know my results yet, I have tried my best to convey my thoughts and interact with my group members. I might not speak very fluent English, but it isn't a reason for me to give up trying. Speaking to others, no matter what language, is simply to express our thoughts. It's okay not to speak like a native because practice makes perfect. And we shouldn't compare ourselves to others. We just need to improve ourselves.
Thank you, Sammy. You've illustrated to us how someone like you, who might be more of an introvert, can become outspoken and confident in expressing yourself through practice and collaboration with others in the classroom. Well, speaking is a productive skill. Listening is a receptive skill, which some might consider easier, but to be a good listener, you are not only expected to understand the gist and detail, but also the speaker's purpose, feelings, attitudes, and opinions. And I spotted 2 students who usually score well in the listening tests. They are Enki and Jacob. So, Enki and Jacob, can you tell us what you have done?
Well, I have always loved watching series or shows. I like watching some comedy series like Two Broke Girls or some improvised plays like what this group called Shoot from the Hip does. The actors in this series or shows speak relatively fast like they are casually chatting. Watching these videos could enhance my ability to listen to fast-speaking speeches and to speak like a native using colloquial expressions and informal tone. Also, I watch TED Talks to improve my listening skills. I started watching TED Talk shows in secondary 3 about twice or thrice a month. My favorites are marine-related topics. These TED Talk shows usually have more difficult terms, but are delivered at a slower speed. This way, I could learn more vocabulary so that I could understand the message or the concepts.
For me, I managed to enhance my English skills through gaming and football, which I enjoy doing so much. When I play video games with my friends, we sometimes set up a challenge to communicate only in English, and there will be a light-hearted punishment for failing to do so. This encourages us to discuss game strategies and react to in-game events using English only. Such continuous interactions not only brush up my listening skills, but also expand my vocab bank in an enjoyable and relaxing way. Additionally, I enjoy watching football matches and listening to passionate commentaries from commentators. Why? The fact is that they provide a rich source of language, offering various phrases and expressions that enhance my enjoyment and understanding of the game. Let's watch the following clip as an example.
Madeira, Manchester, Madrid, Turin, and Manchester again. Wreathed in red, restored to this great gallery of the game, a walking work of art, vintage, beyond valuation, beyond forgery or imitation. 18 years since that trembling teenager of touch and tease first tiptoed onto this storied stage. Now in his immaculate maturity, CR7 reunited.
Oh, CR7 reunited, a great football player. Also, it's great that because you have picked English as the medium when you do what interests you, over time, you can understand authentic English without difficulty. Thank you, Anki and Jacob. So, students in the classroom, has there been any takeaway for you? Have you reflected on how you learn a language? Yes, it is language learning that we are talking about, although we've been using English all the way through. Okay, to balance out, hey, Jasper, can you teach me Japanese?
Of course, Missy, but maybe after the morning assembly. For now, let me introduce my discoveries in studying a new language. For the past few years, studying Japanese has completely transformed my perspective, not just academically, but in how I see the world. Beyond vocabulary and grammar, research shows that learning multiple languages strengthens memory and sharpens problem-solving skills. If you spend time observing, you'll notice the obvious similarities and differences between Chinese and Japanese. Learning a third language ignites your interest in further investigating how languages really work, making language learning more engaging than ever. For me, learning Japanese, I didn't just pick up a new language. It rewired the way I think about communication itself. I became more precise in my word choices, more attentive to sentence structures, and more aware of how language shapes understanding. Another powerful change I've gone through is gaining confidence. I still remember my first trip to Japan after I started learning Japanese. It was a completely different experience from my previous visits. Suddenly, I could read signs, order food, and even chat with locals. Every small interaction, no matter how imperfect, excited me and made me bolder. The truth is, speaking a new language is intimidating at first. You stumble, you second-guess yourself. But every time you push through, you improve not just in fluency, but in confidence. And this confidence doesn't stay only in the classroom. It crosses over to my daily interactions, presentations, and further language learning pursuits.
Thank you, Jasper. And you need not envy her. You can learn a third language too, students in the classroom. While there are lots of benefits and fun, there's a lot of hard work at the same time.
To sum up, our objectives this morning are to encourage you to speak up and express yourself.
To listen extensively to authentic language using online resources.
To fuel your language acquisition with your interests.
And to discover the benefits and changes learning language can bring you.
Thank you so much, kids. It's a privilege to work with you. And before we go, I want to tell you a real story that happened to a church friend of mine who used to teach English as well. Recently, her dad fell from height and he suffered from brain injury. Consequently, he lost his ability to communicate and had to go through rehabilitation. But he was not responding to the medical staff. It was found out that the brain injury had affected his cognitive abilities and his understanding of Cantonese. Though desperate, my friend didn't give up, and she started to speak to her dad in Mandarin, his second language, and miraculously, he responded. My friend also created some communication boards to facilitate conversations with him, and the results were encouraging. Honestly, we don't have a full picture of what's going on, but we did imagine, what if he didn't speak a second language? When I asked my friend if I could share her story, she said, "Why not?" And it is her desire to raise awareness about the power of language and the use of communication aids to help people with communication and cognitive difficulties. So, after all, I hope you will experience language learning as something relevant, enjoyable, and beneficial. Thank you all.